Shopify helps you sell at every stage of your business. Like that, let's put it online and see what happens stage.
And the site is live.
That we opened a store and need a fast checkout stage.
Thanks. You're all set.
That count it up and ship it around the globe stage.
This one's going to Thailand.
And that, wait, did we just hit 1 million orders stage? Whatever your stage, businesses that grow with Shopify. Sign up for your $1 a month trial at shopify.com/listen.
All right, I like to start Tech Refresh with a little fun fact. And let's go back in time to 1971. Yes, and so you had a couple of computer scientists, they were sitting around, they said, I wonder what would happen if we created a computer virus. And they said, oh, what a good idea. Let's go ahead and do that. So they did. They created the first computer virus, and it was called Creeper. And when it landed from one computer to the next, it just had this little message that said, I'm the Creeper. Catch me if you can, right? Speaking of viruses, I just love getting your notes. And Carl in Los Angeles sent me this note the other day through the website. Dear Kim, I don't understand why Windex didn't get rid of my computer's virus. I was told Windex was great at disinfecting Windows.
Carl.
Oh, Carl. That's bad. That's the worst one yet. I think that was it.
That's bad.
Hey, welcome to Tech Refreshers. I like to say it's your weekly fun show about all things digital. And just a quick reminder to rate, review, follow, subscribe our podcast, because we always need to get more people to listen to us and follow us and good stuff like that. And I want to tell you about my newest ebook. It's the Guide to Online Freelancing. And what that means is that I'm going to walk you through how you can set up your own side gig the profitable way, right? And the successful way. Because maybe you're thinking about quitting your job. Maybe you have, and you're like, okay, I can have my own business, but where do I start? Well, I'm going to walk you through everything from A to Z, as well as tell you the scams that you should watch out for. And so just search Amazon for Kim Komando books. That's Komando, K, with a K, of course. And I want you to get your guide to successful online freelancing today. And joining us this week is our amazing content queen and crypto princess. No longer a queen. I'm sorry, Allie. What do you have coming up for us?
Well, for good reason, right? I'm going to tell you about the crypto queen, which is this bizarre mystery of one of the biggest scams in history. Lots and lots of money stolen there. I've also got info on gas scams that you need to know about before you get swindled.
Ooh, watch out for those. And then, of course, we have our magnificent millennial and our very own TikTok star, Matthew Heffel. How are you going to astound and amaze us today?
We will be talking about how Stranger Things is breaking tons of records, as well as a really handy site that you need to use with your photos. Super helpful.
You know what? That's a great site. I've used it myself.
Yeah.
It's fabulous. All right, let's get started with the tech news to keep you up to date, keep you in the know. And let's talk about the political season because it's underway. I know it's hard to believe that it is underway once again. And now Google has approached the Federal Election Commission to say, we need to let all political spam through, and we want to be able to do that. And so that means your inbox is just going to be loaded with a capital L because everything sent by any legally qualified candidate or their campaign, any political party under the sun, okay, not just like, left, right, liberal, whatever. I mean, any political party under the sun, all political action committees will be allowed through Google's spam filters. And now at the same time, 2 U.S. senators are pushing a bill to prohibit all email providers from filtering any type of political spam.
That has felt like the one place that they can't really get you.
Right.
It's in the mailbox. They come to your door. You get texts, but email has always felt like kind of a safe harbor, but I guess not anymore.
No, not anymore. That's right. Now, of course, with all email spam, there's always the option to opt out, and that works. I think does that work 100% of the time?
I'm going to say no.
Totally. All the time.
Yes. It's kind of like that do not call registry, right?
Right.
Okay.
Please take me off your list. I know it doesn't do anything, but please.
Yes, please. All right, Matt, so tell us what's going on in the streaming world.
Right. So Stranger Things finalized their newest season recently, and it started blowing up all over the place. So it became the second largest show of all time to reach 1 billion hours viewed on Netflix. 1 billion hours. People have watched the show.
Think about that, 1 billion hours. What could we have done
I was just thinking that.
to like, get rid of climate change?
Solve world hunger.
Right.
Yes, something, or even like, explain to everybody that chemtrails are not really chemtrails. It's just from airplanes. I mean, if we put like the world's top scientists to work for 1 billion hours, okay, well, all right, they're all watching Stranger Things.
Yeah.
That's okay.
They care more about 11 and her secret powers rather than climate change. But so it is the second, I said second, because it still hasn't surpassed Squid Game. Now,
which I did watch. I'm embarrassed to say that I actually watched the whole thing.
So that is at 1.15 billion, Stranger Things is, and Squid Game is at 1.65 billion. So it's still there, but with the show just releasing its final 2 episodes, there's still time for it to catch up, and some experts are saying that it will become the most popular streaming show of all time. Now, over the weekend, Stranger Things Season 4 was in the top 10 Netflix shows in 93 different countries. That's amazing. 93 countries had the top 10. So as we move forward, this will be a couple more years before we're able to see the newest season of Stranger Things. So in the meantime, here are some of the shows that I'm watching on other streaming sites. So I'm watching Umbrella Academy. That's also on Netflix. It's amazing. As well as Only Murders in the Building, which I know that you guys are both watching as well.
I love that.
Yeah, that's on Hulu. It's so good. It's Steve Martin, Martin Short, Selena Gomez. And you hear Selena Gomez, isn't she like, however old she is with those two, but it's perfect. They're just such a good group.
The dynamic is really fun to watch. As well as The Boys, which is a gritty superhero show on Amazon Prime, and Westworld. The new season just started on HBO Max. If you have to catch up or anything, you have some time because they're only releasing an episode a week. But those are some 4 recommendations you should check out.
I totally forgot about Westworld. Yeah. I watched the first season and then it poofed out of my brain.
That's what happens is that you start watching all these things and then you don't really remember when did a new episode drop or is there a new season? And so that's why that tip about using like Real Good or Just Watch where you like list all your shows and then it will actually alert you to say, hey, look what just dropped. You have something to watch this week.
Right, because who can ever remember when your shows are coming
Especially now. There's like 20 shows coming out, new seasons every other day. It's hard to keep up on.
You know what? And it's ridiculous because like you, Matt and Allie, I mean, right now we're watching Loot and Physical on Apple TV.
I haven't even heard of those.
Okay, all right.
No idea.
There you go. So those are 2 for you to look at. Okay, so Allie, gas scams? Really?
Scammers. Nothing is sacred, right? Scammers go where the news is, and there's not much that we've all been talking about more than how high gas prices are. So now, in addition to paying, $5 or $6 a gallon, you also have to watch out for gas scams. And the big one right now, fake gas gift cards. So you're online, maybe you see a survey and you take it and you win. Maybe you see it on social media, you get an email, congrats, you won a $100 gift card.
Yes.
You did not win a $100 gift card. I'll tell you that. The Better Business Bureau report on this, they said that Shell is the most, the name that scammers are using the most right now, but it could happen with any gas station. Basically, in some way, you win, I'm doing finger quotes, you win a gift card. You only have to pay $1.95 to get it delivered to you, but you just handed over your credit card information, your address, your full name, your phone number, all your info. And they might start hitting your card with charges. One person who reported it to the Better Business Bureau said, I got charged $90 twice to that credit card I used. So
nothing's free.
Nothing is free. And if you win a prize, a legitimate prize, you're not going to have to pay to get it. You're not going to have to pay for shipping, any of that stuff. So if you ever see that, just close the page, close the post, walk away.
I was going to ask Matt to tell us a story about his friend in Tempe.
So over the weekend, my friend texted me and he showed himself literally pulling the front of a gas card skimmer off of a gas pump, literally holding it in his hand, and it had cords connected to it, but it was literally the whole front. He put his card in and thought it felt kind of wiggly, and so he grabbed it by the little base of it and just pulled the whole thing off and sent a picture out to all his friends.
Yeah, so those skimmers, it's essentially a little device you can put where you swipe your card at the gas pump, and it takes all your card information. Your friend was very smart not to, to realize something was up. And it really is kind of a feel thing. Does it feel kind of, wiggly or rickety? Does it look weird? Does it not look like the rest of the pumps? That might be a sign. Do your, civic duty, go inside, tell the gas station, employees.
Yeah.
I think something's weird here, and hopefully they can, get that fixed.
Yeah, because basically they're going to take a copy of your credit card.
Yep.
And that's it.
One more thing I want to share. Kim, you had a caller on the show recently. His name was William, and he asked about, we've probably all seen those signs at the gas station for gas cards, gas credit
Yes.
cards. You could save money, 5 cents a gallon usually. Is it worth it? In case you missed it, the official word is, not really, right? So let's say you buy 35 gallons of regular gas a month. Okay, that's a lot of money. It's $6 a gallon, $210. If your card gives you back 5 cents a gallon, you just made a whopping $1.75. That's a cashback rate of under 1%, which is not good. Most decent credit cards will give you at least 1.5% and, even more on some purchases. So I would say stay away. Also because the interest rates are usually pretty high in those gas cards, just like they are with store credit cards. Better way to save, just pay with cash. A lot of gas stations, if you pay with cash, they give you a cheaper rate, 5 to 10 cents a gallon. Sometimes they'll do it for debit cards too, because they don't have to pay those same credit card fees. So just go inside, say, hey, do you give a discount for debit card? If not, use cash.
Because cash is always good,
Yeah.
There you
right?
go.
That's some great tips. All right, I read this story, and then I want you guys to listen and tell me what you think if you'd really want to take this test. Because there are new companies, tech companies, that are working to reinvent how we calculate our biological age. Okay, so right now we say we're 29, 39, however we're old, but just by how many times the calendar moves, right?
Mm-hmm.
So these tests, they say that they're more accurate insights to tell you how much time you have to live.
Oh,
Okay.
Dark.
One test measures the telomeres. I didn't know anything about this. Of a patient's cells, they say they're expendable caps of DNA strands that are shorn off when the cells replicate. And as we age, the length of the telomere is shortened, leading to visible signs of aging, and then we are more vulnerable to disease. So this company is offering a biological age test for $500, and they say it tests more than 100,000 methylation patterns in a customer's DNA. So the result is that you're going to get an epigenic clock, and that's your age based on the biochemical analysis of your DNA that would tell you how many years you have to live. So would you take the test?
No.
I don't think so. This is one of those, would you want to know when and how you're going to die? I don't think so. It's a bit much for
$500.
me.
Yeah,
What do you think, Kim?
it's a tough call. It is. And if you're listening, we'd love to hear your feedback, whether
Yeah.
or not you take the test. Podcasts@komando.com. I have taken one DNA mutation test. When my mom was diagnosed with cancer, the docs came and they said, we want to see if you have any DNA mutations. And you can take this test here at MD Anderson and we'll charge you $5,000. Or you can take the test online and pay $50.
Yeah.
Okay. So I took the test online. They just send over the slab and you spit in it and the vial rather, and you send it back. And, 3 weeks later, I got an email from the testing site and it said, we have your results. Would you like to speak to a counselor? Or would you like your results in email? And I'm sitting there going, oh, it must be bad news because it's a counselor. Okay, oh no. And I'm like, you know what? No, I'm just going to hit the link. So I hit the link and it says everything was negative. Okay, everything's
good.
fine.
Good.
But I thought, in that instant, you could know whether or not you had some type of cancer or anything like that. It's interesting because I can see one day where we go for blood tests.
Mm-hmm.
And they're gonna be giving us these other tests as well. Just an interesting, push where technology is going, isn't it?
I guess the question too is, if there's information there that you can do something about, like, hey, maybe you've aged too quickly because you're not really taking care of yourself, and you can take steps to do something else.
That's true.
Yeah, I guess I was kind of thinking of it as this kind of magical, like, you're going to die on this day.
This is yeah.
Yeah.
So the company behind, in case you want to look it up, is Celium Health. And speaking of, you never want to start a pillow fight with death. Never ever, unless you're ready to face the repercussions.
Oh. That was worse than Carl's joke.
Sorry about that. Hey, stay right where you are. Coming up, we're going to tell you how to fix bad photos, make your smart speaker sound better, and soon we'll all be able to take a sky cruise. Hey, welcome back to Tech Refresh. Just a quick reminder to follow us on social media. And Allie, where do you go on Instagram?
Instagram.com/KimKomando.
And Matt, where would that be on Facebook?
I believe it's facebook.com/Kim Komando?
Yes.
Yes.
Oh my gosh.
Got
So
it.
wherever you are, twitter.com/Kim Komando, linkedin.com/Kim Komando, you get the whole deal. So I want to make sure that you follow us, especially on Twitter and on Facebook, because that's where we post a lot of tips, tricks, and secrets. You find out all the data breaches, security alerts, and it's a good way for us to keep you up to date. So again, that's wherever you're on social, just go ahead and hit /Kim Komando. All right, so now this is part of Tech Refresh where we like to pass along some really smart tips. And I'll go first, and I'm going to start with a little fun fact about Google Maps because I get this call on the show. It seems like about at least once every 2 to 3 weeks. And it goes something like this. No, it's not about like the guy, like, you know, I still can't believe these guys call the show. And it's always a guy, by the way. So it's like, you know, I'm a farmer here in Kansas, and this beautiful woman just picked me out of the entire internet, and I'm 65, and she's 20, and she loves me. Okay.
She does not. Narrator, she does not love you.
No, she does not love you. On Google Maps, you can add up to 9 stops. That's the question I get a lot. You know, how can I make sure that I'm having the most efficient route, especially now with gas prices so high? So what you do with Google Maps, you open the app, you enter your destination, and then once the app knows your starting and stopping point, you can start adding stops, and then you tap the 3 dots, and then you add stops. And then you can start reordering the stops if you wanted to do that. And then also with Google Maps is that if you're heading somewhere where cell coverage might get patchy, it's a good idea to download your route plan for offline use. And then you just navigate as you normally would. Then again, those 3 dots, that's your menu. That's the 3 little dots, that's your menu. And then select download offline map. And then if you run into difficulty with coverage, you don't have, you know, any bars anywhere, that you still have that map available to you.
Lifesaver.
Yeah.
It is, absolutely. All right, so Matt, tell us about this wonderful site that if you have a crappy photo, you can make it better.
Oh, yeah. We all remember a time back in the day, which I believe was a Tuesday, when we didn't have phones in our pockets. We didn't have these amazing cameras in our pockets to take beautiful photos wherever we are. We were using old, even film cameras, or in the 90s, digital cameras, right? And so you have this stack of a whole bunch of old photos that are grainy and not nearly as high quality. Well, there's this really cool website. It's called clipdrop.co/image upscaler. So that's
Okay, which nobody is going to remember.
if you go to Google and type in clip image upgrader, it'll be the very top link. Double check
or
this.
or just in case, we will have it posted at Komando.com
Boom.
as a great little find on the internet.
Yeah.
Because I'm always afraid, I'll tell you, Matt, I'm always afraid about telling people to go Google something.
Oh, yeah.
Because
Click an ad.
invariably, it's like, you know, I think all of us, every site is like 6 degrees away from some nasty porno site, you know, or
It is the internet.
you know, it's like, you know, granny porn or something like that. It's just bad. Anyway, sorry, I digress, but I'm back. So we're going to post the link over at Komando.com.
What this website does is it takes those old grainy photos, or maybe they're blurry or what have you, and it uses AI to fill in the gaps within the photo and enhance it. So it's really, really easy. It's free. So you're going to go into the website, and on the front page, it'll just say clip and drag your image, and you drag it in there, and boom, it'll fix it. And I actually went on my old MySpace page from 2007, and I grabbed some old high school pictures, and I brought them onto this website, and I made them look like they were taken in 2020. They look amazing. They look brand new. And I sent it to all my friends that were in them, and they're like, how did you get these? And I was like, oh, you know, MySpace and this really cool site. So
That's awesome. I want to try it.
yeah.
You know, I totally forgot I had a MySpace account until you just said this.
Never forget.
Whatever happened to Tom?
Oh, he's probably just hanging out with his top 8, living the dream.
Yes, exactly. His top 8, probably top 4. I forget who I was talking to recently, and or maybe it was like one of Ian's friends, and I said, has any of you ever heard of MySpace? And they're like, no, that's where all the hookers hang out or something like that.
No.
I was like, oh,
I thought it just became a music website.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think there's more going on there than just playing tunes. If you get my drift.
Yeah.
Sorry
Indeed.
about that. All right. And we'll post again that link to that website over at Komando.com. Just search for upscale photos. And I think that's probably where it'll pop up. Okay. So, Allie, you had a digital revelation.
I sure did. Okay, I have several Amazon Echoes around my house. And we have one of the Echo Studios, which the sound is great. It's the big, nice, fancy speaker. Sounds awesome, great for music. It's $200. The other ones that are, you can get them on sale for $25, $30. They're okay. They do the job, but the sound isn't great. And lately I've been feeling like the one in my office especially has just been sounding kind of muffled and just not a great experience. So I went online looking for ways to improve the sound quality. Obviously, there's not a ton you can do if the hardware isn't the best. But everything I was finding was check your Wi-Fi connection, make sure it's not facing the wall, turn it down. All things
Make sure
are
it's
just
plugged in.
Yeah, I know. Thank you. This is not very helpful. But then I remembered that sometimes you find the real gems in the comments, and you find that person who found the thing that's no, actually try this. And that's what the whole tip should be, right? So a very helpful anonymous person clued me into the fact that in the Alexa app, there's not just the volume up and down. You can also pretty finely tune the audio settings for the speakers. I had no idea. It's the equalizer function. So go to your Echo in the app and look for something called audio settings. And there are 3 things that you can mess with: the bass, the treble, and the mid-range. Leave the bass alone unless you really want it to be, bumping. Really, though, the treble and the mid-range, bump those up. They start just at 0. I went kind of halfway on the little scale, and it sounds so much better. And it took 30 seconds, and now it's I have a brand new speaker. It's awesome.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
See, that is nice. It is nice that, that you really can figure things out. And you're right. If you do look at the comments, a lot of times it's oh, well, yeah, there it is.
That's why Reddit is so good for finding, answers to questions, or, Quora, or, forums, things like that, where the Komando community forums are a really good place for things like that, because it's not just the same, try these 3 tips that may or may not work to solve your tech issue.
Which, speaking of the Komando community, the Q&A forums, that's a wonderful place if you ever have any tech questions to post them right there, because we have IT geniuses, don't we? I mean, they are the best. John and Jeremy, they are the best. And they go in there and they're going to help you out. Every once in a while, I pop in, or maybe Allie does, or Serena does, or somebody else pops in. And even Matt will pop in from time to time
Oh, yes,
from now
indeed.
on.
Indeed.
Yes.
From now on.
And so you can Google anything, but you can't Google trusted advice. And so right now, have we officially launched this yet, Allie, where people can try the Q&A forums for 90 days? Have we launched that yet?
It's up. This is going to be our friends listening to Tech Refresh right now. We're getting the first peek.
So tell everybody what do they get for the 90 days?
So you get full access to the Q&A forums. That means you can post questions, you can respond to questions. Maybe you're an expert in something and you want to help people out. You can get access to our chat room. So lots of people just like you who love tech, maybe want to know more about tech. You can even start your own blog. You can hang out on the site, meet some new people, get your questions answered for 90 days. That's a long time.
For free. And after that, it's just a couple of bucks a month.
Yep.
I mean, really, seriously, it's less than $5 a month.
Yeah.
And so, but we want everybody to really experience it. So you get the podcast, the webcast, and really that Q&A forum is just amazing. And so if you haven't tapped into that, you really should. And so to sign up, just go to komando.com/free trial, komando.com/free trial. And that's where you can get all the creds that you need to use the whole community. And we don't track you, by the way. Just wanted to make that clear. We're not running all these so Allie posted about Echo smart speakers. Let's see what else she might want to know about. Or Matt needs one more streaming service because he only subscribes to 7. Yeah. So we need to get another one for Matt. No, not at all. Nope. Again, that free trial is over at komando.com/free trial. All right, stay right where you are. Coming up, we have some crypto news with Allie and what the web is talking about with Matt. And then trivia still to come. And Matt promises us a joke. On a scale of 1 to 10, it's about a 9.5. So stay right where you are. welcome back to Tech Refresh. As you know, it's your weekly fun podcast about everything digital, and we like to mix it up. And of course, Allie's not only our amazing content queen, she is our, well, I used to call her the crypto queen, but I can't do that anymore because apparently that there was already a crypto queen. And so that's why Allie is now the crypto princess, because you don't want to be the crypto queen, right?
I sure don't. We're going to start. Let me tell you a little bit about the FBI's top 10 most wanted fugitive list. I know. Stay with me. You've got murderers. You've got a bank robber who murdered someone. You've got kidnappers who murdered people. Drug cartel leaders. Can you guess?
Who murdered people?
Yeah, that's kind of the common thread here, right? All murderers. And now a new face has been added to the FBI's top 10 most wanted. Her name is Ruja Ignatova, also known as the Crypto Queen. As far as I know, she did not murder anyone, but she stole a lot of money. All right, let me tell you this story because it's crazy. She's this 42-year-old woman, and she launched a fake cryptocurrency called OneCoin. U.S. authorities call it one of the biggest pyramid schemes in history. Okay, you think like she had to be pretty smart to pull this off, right? And she was. She studied at Oxford. She has a PhD in private international law. This woman is not an idiot.
Right.
Her foray into crypto, it started in 2013 with something called Bitcoin. No, not Bitcoin, big, B-I-G, coin, yes. She stayed there for a while. Turned out this was kind of a multi-level marketing scheme. One of those, I'm going to buy some, I convince you to buy some, I get commission. Those things are never great. On and on, the person at the bottom of the pyramid inevitably is screwed, right? So she left Bitcoin to start her own project, OneCoin. They marketed this as the Bitcoin killer. This is going to be...
You know, I have seen ads I saw ads for this.
There you go. I'm really glad you didn't buy any, Kim.
No. I bought Ethereum right before it took a dump. Thank you very much.
We all did, yeah.
Okay.
So Ruja and her team, her accomplices, whatever you want to call them, they told investors, OneCoin is mined just like Bitcoin. The value is going to go up based on, there's a limited supply of it. No, it wasn't mined at all. In fact, no OneCoin blockchain even existed. This was all just stuff that they invented. Her and her team were just setting the price the entire time. You couldn't actually buy and sell it. So, yeah, it was
you couldn't actually buy and sell it?
No, this was all a big Ponzi scheme. They had a site set up, but it wasn't actual blockchain transactions. None of it was actually real. This all started in 2014. And after a couple years, there were 3 million people invested in OneCoin. And the FBI says, at a minimum, she collected $4 billion.
Oh, my gosh.
Some estimates say that Ruja and her people collected up to $7 billion in people's money. So how long do you think she stuck around after all that cash came in?
Not so much.
Yeah.
Not very long. In 2017, she knew something was up. There were investigators poking around. And get this, she actually bugged her boyfriend's apartment. He was an American. And it turned out he was working with the FBI. To give information.
You know what? I see a Netflix series coming on this.
I know. So in October 2017, she got on a flight to Athens, Greece, and poof, she vanished. There's been no trace of her since then at all. So fast forward to May of this year, and Europol, that's the European Union intelligence agency, they put her on their most wanted list. And then just about a week ago, the FBI put her in the top 10 fugitive list, which usually murderers, but there she is. She faces up to 90 years in prison for fraud and, all the associated charges. There's a whole other layer of this thing that should go in the Netflix series about like Eastern European organized crime rings. There's this theory that Prince in Dubai might be hiding her tracks. It's wild. So the mystery of Ruja, we don't quite know where she is right now. But hey, if you do know, there's a $100,000 reward, though. She has so much more money, I'm willing to bet she'd pay you more to stay quiet.
Yeah, I think that Ruja is now Robert. I mean, Ruja she's redone her whole face persona.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
It doesn't exist anymore.
No.
Yeah.
I mean, isn't that crazy?
It's all so wild. Yeah. She's this really like glamorous woman who, smart and educated and talked people into anything and did not.
That's amazing. Speaking of crypto, did you guys see that over the weekend that the UK's army, their YouTube and their Twitter was hacked by crypto scammers? What they did was they went on Twitter and YouTube and they started posting live streams of Elon Musk and Bill Gates talking about crypto and how to invest. And they were actual old live streams, but they were just recorded and replayed as live streams. And then it had the little link to the crypto scam at the bottom of the YouTube page. So they scammed like $1.3 million or something like that over the weekend.
These YouTube scams always work. Elon Musk, never trying to give you anything. Bill Gates, never trying to give you anything. Jack Dorsey, never trying to give you anything.
You know, if you see me on it, never trying
Nope.
to give you anything.
Nope.
Just saying that's just not going to happen.
It's not. No.
Well, it's like, so many people now are going, oh, but wait, no. The only free thing you can get is, hey, that free trial.
90 days.
90 days. Okay. Yes, I am giving you something free now that I think about it. Go to komando.com/free trial. All right. So, Matt, you are a dedicated internet scout. Tell us exactly what the heck the internet's all talking about and crazy stuff that's going on. So, what's trending this week?
I saw this on TikTok, and at first I thought it was fake. It was talking about a sky cruise. Yeah.
So instead of like a water cruise.
Instead of a water cruise, a sky cruise. So there was a guy that came out over the past week, and he has plans to build a 5,000 passenger plane. It won't just be any plane, though. It'll be so large that it'll have large mall areas within it, a swimming pool, balconies, and it will be so large that other planes will be able to dock with this other plane. Now, the way they want to do this is by having the plane be nuclear powered. So, a nuclear powered plane in the sky, right? Now, the internet immediately got divided on this. Some are saying that this is the future. This is what we'll all be doing in 25, 30 years. We'll all be having these magnificent cruises in the sky. And the other half is saying, this is a really bad idea. Cruises are dangerous in the first place. Why put them in the sky? So
with nuclear.
Yeah, you took a cruise and made it worse and scarier.
Yeah, I mean, forget getting COVID on a cruise, right?
Right. I thought this was a joke. I had seen it on TikTok for like a week, and it was blowing up, and I saw the comments, and I was like, oh, this can't be real. And then I saw it on CBS Sunday Morning this last week, and I was like, oh, man, okay, this is actually legitimate.
Okay, this is legit. And so I didn't see the report. What altitude is this plane going to be at?
It's going to be at 30,000 feet like a normal jetliner. And
oh, wow. So it's a jetliner that's going just around the world?
Around the world. It can stay in they predict that it'll be able to stay in the air for up to 5 months at a time.
Isn't the whole point of a cruise that you like go to a place and you get out and you...
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
This is just for the views, apparently. So the guy that created it, his name is Tony Holmsten. And he said this won't be an actual reality for at least another 18 years, so 2040 is what he said. And I thought, oh, that's so long ways off. But then I went back and thought, what was 18 years ago? Well, that was 2004. You know what else started in 2004? Facebook.
Oh, gosh. That kind of puts it all into perspective,
so it's not
doesn't
that
it?
long ago, right? So it won't be that much longer until we have sky cruises.
I don't know. I mean,
I'm gonna pass.
I mean, by the time when you think about TSA, trying to get on that, that's not going to be very good. You know, I once took a Spanish language course on a cruise ship, and you could say that I just got lost at sea. Oh, okay.
I liked that one.
Yeah,
Okay, that's better than Carl's.
Yeah, it was.
better than
It was.
Carl's.
Better than Carl's.
All right, okay. All right, stay right where we are. Coming up, we have trivia, and Allie is on board this week with that, so it's going to be really, really hard. And then we have Matt with the joke. Scale of 1 to 10, Matt?
75. I don't know. You already said 9.5, so I can't really get too much more.
All right, 9.5, 9.75.
Yeah, there you go, there you go.
All right, stay right where you are. Welcome back to Tech Refresh. It's your weekly fun podcast about all things digital. If you're not already getting our fabulous newsletters, well, you should sign up for those. Go to komando.com/subscribe. We have breaking news and tips, the current Windows, Android, Mac, you name it. And again, you subscribe over at komando.com/subscribe. And we are not going to spam you. Promise you. We value you and your email address. So that's komando.com/subscribe. All right, Allie. It's your turn for trivia this weekend. It's
All right.
always very, very difficult.
Oh, thank you,
I do.
Kim. I appreciate
Yes.
that vote of confidence. All right, we're talking about Airbnb today.
Okay, I'm writing this down. Okay.
Taking notes. Okay, Airbnb has actually some pretty humble roots. It was founded by a couple recent college grads. Didn't have much money. They were struggling to pay their rent. They lived in San Francisco, so you know it was expensive. And there was a conference in town, and they thought, hey, what if we put out some air mattresses and rent space to people, and we can pay our rent? They did. People actually came and stayed on these air mattresses, and thus Airbnb was born. Now, their initial funding campaigns weren't very flashy either. So, how did they raise their first $30,000 to get Airbnb off the ground? A, they went door to door asking for donations. B, they sold a percentage of the company to their landlord in exchange for an advance. C, they sold breakfast cereal. Or D, they got loans from their parents.
Gosh, they could do any of those.
I am going. I'll start. I'm gonna think that it's the craziest one of those, just because that would be the most interesting, and I really hope it's that one. So I'm gonna go with C, breakfast cereal.
You know, I was going to say that, but since you did that, I'm not going to say that. I'm going to say they got loans from their parents.
One of you is correct. Good instincts, Matt.
Yeah.
Yes, it is breakfast cereal. So this is wild because this was back in 2008 that Airbnb started. Doesn't it seem like that wasn't
Yes.
that long ago?
Right.
Well, so this was during the presidential election. And so they bought a bunch of generic breakfast cereal and they repackaged it as Obama O's and Captain McCain's. And they sold each box for $40 and they raised $30,000.
That's
Wow.
genius. That's
That
super
is,
smart.
you know
Yeah.
what? That's super smart.
Yeah.
That's really something that, you know, that you wouldn't think that it would work, but obviously
worked.
it
Yeah.
did.
Yeah.
But, you know, speaking of Airbnbs, if you're listening to this, you're watching us, and if you're staying at an Airbnb or VRBO, which I don't know whether they're calling it Verbo lately or VRBO, it goes different ways, is that we've got a whole bunch of tips over at Komando.com on how to find those hidden cameras
Yeah.
that may be in that rental property.
Yep.
So whether or not it's legal with Airbnb or Verbo or whatever it may be. So just go ahead and find hidden cameras at Komando.com because we want to keep you guys and gals safe.
Yep.
All right, Matt, we're wrapping it up with you. And you said it's a long joke, and we're going to be laughing from here to New York City. So what's going on?
All right. The world's leading expert on European wasps walks into a record shop. He asks the assistant, "Do you have the European Waspography Acoustic Volume 2? I believe it was released this week." The man replies, "Certainly. Would you like to listen before you buy it?" Says that would be wonderful, and puts the pair of headphones on. He listens for a few moments and says to the assistant, "I'm terribly sorry, but I am the world-leading expert on European wasps, and this is not accurate at all. I don't recognize any of these sounds. Are you sure this is the correct audio recording?" The assistant checks the turntable and replies that it is indeed the European Waspography Acoustic Volume 2. The assistant apologizes and lifts the needle onto the next track. Again, the expert listens for a few minutes and then says to the assistant, "No, this just can't be right. I've been an expert in this field for 43 years and I still don't recognize any of these sounds." The assistant apologizes again, lifts the needle to the next track. The expert throws the headphones off as soon as it starts playing and, fuming with rage, says, "This is outrageous false advertising. I am the world's leading expert on European wasps, and no European wasp has ever made a sound like the one on this recording." The manager of the shop overhears the commotion and walks over. "What seems to be the problem, sir?" "This is outrageous. I am the world's leading expert on European wasps. Nobody knows more about them than I do, and there is no way in hell that this is the sound a European wasp would ever make." The manager glances down and notices the problem instantly. He says, "I'm sorry, sir. It appears we've been playing the B-side."
Oh. You know what?
Really good payoff.
That was really good, and especially the way that you delivered the joke,
Yeah.
Matt.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, I could kind of see this really happening. That was really good.
I like
the
that one.
B-side. All right, you know what? I think it's a good solid 9.
Hey,
It was a good joke.
nice.
What?
I'll take a 9. That's a win.
That's okay. It's a 9. All right. So I always like to ask you guys, what do you think we should, if you want to give our listeners some parting words of advice, what that might be? And Allie, you go first.
You definitely need to go over to komando.com/free trial, get that 90 days. If you have had a tech question, maybe you don't want to be on the radio, maybe you're a little shy, that's where to ask it. You can go post questions anywhere online, and then you get any random person on the internet trying to help you. These are, we're tech experts who are helping you out. John and Jeremy are the people that I go to, other than Kim.
Yeah.
for that kind of help. So
Yeah, I mean, I go to John.
Right?
I'm like-
I know. So yeah, go to the person that Kim Komando goes to.
Yes, exactly.
Komando.com/free trial, 90 days free. It's totally worth it if you have any questions.
No, John, John is amazing.
He is. Yeah.
I mean, he helped set up this whole studio. And he gives me I have this little iPad mini here that I just have to, instead of me having to go plug things in and hit buttons, it's like, oh, Lights on, lights off. Thank you. Thank you, John.
Automating
Thank
your
you.
whole life.
Exactly.
Yeah.
All right. How about you, Matt?
I've mentioned this before, but I build all the newsletters personally. And if I had to tell you that you had to subscribe to just one email, which you shouldn't, you should subscribe to more than that because they're all great. But you should really just go check out The Current. It's all the information that you want with none of the ads. It gives some fun takes on stuff. It's more of a conversation and tells you some interesting things. So go ahead and go over to komando.com/thecurrent and sign up for that.
Or you can go to getthecurrent.com.
Getthecurrent.com.
Getthecurrent.com. And with me, just keep doing what you're doing, folks. You know, thanks for listening. Thanks for talking about us online. Thanks for sharing all of our content. And thanks for being here with us with Kim Komando today and Tech Refresh. And we'll see you here next week.